Welcome to the first ever My Needle Jet podcast, where I'm going to be talking about everything from a regional aviation point of view. My name is Regina, and I am a regional flight attendant. I don't fly international. Well, technically I do. But primarily in the United States, I fly up and down the East Coast. I fly a little bit to the west, like to, on Central Time, like Chicago, maybe St. Louis and places like that. But primarily up and down the East Coast. We do a little bit of Canadian flying, such as Toronto and Montreal. We used to go to Ottawa. I miss Ottawa, but no more. And I don't do continental international flying overseas or anything like that. Um, and if it's domestic flying, that's primarily the East Coast with a little bit to the Midwest. So I will be talking about aviation from that point of view, from a crew member point of view, and also as an advocate for passengers' rights. Because even though I'm a flight attendant and people do annoy me at times, I'm still an advocate for American citizens that are passengers on major airlines and regionals. So let's get it started. So, what I'm going to talk about now, and this is the year 2022, it really has nothing to do with the pandemonium, shall we say, or inflation or recession or any of those things. This is going to be more about passengers and what they're wearing to the airports, customers. I think people forget that, I don't know, that you're flying in public, that you have to pull up to an airport, go through security, walk past thousands of people as you're getting to your gate. Because some of you have been coming out of the house in pajamas, bustiers, hair bonnets, fucking hair bonnets, people. And I will say this was years ago, but I have seen a woman get dropped off at the airport in hair rollers and a scarf and grab her rollerboard and walk her ass right into the airport. I haven't seen that since, thank God. But this hair bonnet shit has to stop. Now, I know I guess late last year in 2021, the comedian, oh my God, her name escapes me right now. She's an Oscar winning actress. You know who she is. Monique, excuse me, from Maryland, okay? She put out I guess kind of like a video or whatever, a social media PSA if you haven't heard about it. And I'll play a clip from it. Basically about how she's talking to young black women, or maybe even older black women who show up in public at airports. She talks about Walmart and places like that. But I was more concerned about the airport because that's what I do for a living. I'm a flight attendant. That's what I see. And how they're showing up to the airports wearing robes, hair bonnets, um, things like that. Like they're just rolling out of the bed and not getting dressed for themselves in the public arena, and how that's just ridiculous. And it is ridiculous. I'm a flight attendant. I see it all the time. I'm in Philadelphia International, uh, Charlotte Douglas International, Chicago O'Hare International. Mind you, I just said international. These are major, huge airports. So you're walking past thousands of people. Anybody you can meet at the airport, at an international airport, you can meet the love of your life. You can meet your new employer that pays you more money and treats you better. You could meet a new great best friend. Make connections and have colleagues, whatever. And you're walking around looking like oh my God. Like you just rolled out of bed. I would never, ever, ever wear a goddamn house robe to an airport. Jesus, put on a jean and t-shirt and some sneakers. I mean, yeah, it's bummy, but I'd rather you do that than wear a goddamn robe to the airport. And the hair bonnet, that is crazy. I just cannot. Let me tell you, this was in Philadelphia International. I've seen a family of 5. So it was the mom, it was the dad, the son. They look normal. And it was the mom and her 2 daughters. So it's a family of 5. The mom and 2 daughters were wearing hair bonnets, just walking through the airport like la di da da, and nothing's going on, and this is normal. No, hair bonnet to me is the equivalent of freaking rollers in your hair. It might as well be. You are in public, and I'm a black woman, and unfortunately, I'm talking about mostly black women that are doing this. This is craziness. It's got to stop. Take some pride in yourself. You are in public. You're in an international airport. This is where I mostly see this in international airport, large, major airports. This is craziness. Craziness. I even saw a report about a school principal. I think it was Texas somewhere. I want to say Houston. And she saw this a lot where people were dropping their kids off to school like that. You know, it's one thing if you kind of wear a hair bonnet and you drop your kid off from school and you kept your hair bonnet wearing ass in your car. But these chicks would these women, these mothers would get out of their cars with the hair bonnets, walk into school like la di da da, and, go back into their cars or whatever. This principal was like, I've had enough of it. It's banned. You can't show up here with hair bonnets. Now, the counterpoint to that, they were talking about, white women showing up with wet hair and stuff like that. They shouldn't be able to do that. That's debatable. I don't know. Um, but this hair bonnet stuff has got to stop. And I know, Monique mentioned Walmart and all that. Walmart, I see all kinds of stuff, all kinds of races doing all kinds of crazy crap, wearing pajamas and stuff like that. And I've seen that nonsense too. But I mean, it's Walmart, so it's just Walmart. If you show up to Wawa like that, I'd be like, it's Wawa or 7-Eleven, whatever. But the airport, this craziness has just got to stop. And take race out of it. We'll just stick with Americans here, okay? Just whatever American you are. African American, European American, Asian American, Hispanic American, Latinx American, whatever. Just showing up in pajamas, and I've seen that in all races and things like that. Grown ass people, children under 5 can get away with it, but grown ass people showing up pajamas and things like that at the airport, get it together. Just get it together. It is an airport of international travel. Dress. I'm not telling you to come to the airport wearing a 3-piece suit and dressing to the nines. That's totally unnecessary. I've seen people just wear jeans, a t-shirt, and a nice blazer and some clean sneakers, and you're fine. But, comb your hair, brush your teeth. Jesus Christ. You're going to be talking to the gate agent. You're going to have to talk to Homeland Security. You're in public. Just take some pride in yourself. You can do that when you get in your car and travel on your own, but getting on a bus, train, or a plane, especially an airplane, a major airliner, just have some kind of common decency and self-respect. You are in public. You're in public. So I want you to give this a listen if you have not heard. This is Monique.
Hey, my sweet babies. So, it took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment, and I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love. So, yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta, and as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count, and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves?
Oh, and I just want to get a shout out to some of you brothers or other males of other ethnicities that are showing up to the airport with what? Wave caps on your head. That's for the bedroom. You wear that to bed. It is the equivalent of a hair bonnet. Knock it off.
Sorry about that, folks. So that was my little rant about the hair bonnets and decorum when you come to the airport, and just having some self-respect, having some decency. Because there's not just you flying on this airliner, these aircraft. You're in the public arena. There's families. I have priests. I have Buddhist monks. I got all kinds of people. Grandmas, grandpas, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 9-year-olds, children, families. Don't this, it's not the club. Don't It's not the club. It's not the strip club. I've seen some crazy stuff. I had one flight attendant tell me about how he had a woman on his flight. She went into the bathroom, changed into a yellow bikini, and sat her ass back down in her seat. Why would you do that? I and yeah, I could not believe it. But he had proof. Why would you do that? Just don't understand this craziness. People showing up to the airports in bustiers and like bikini tops. And it's like, honey, save that for the beach, save that for the club. Just dress enough, decent enough, just get your ass on the airplane. And don't ask me for a buddy pass because I don't like giving them out. People just don't know how to act. Some people just act like trash, some people dress like trash, and I'm like, no, you're not flying under my name on that companion pass because I'm not having it. There's a viral story I saw on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and this gate agent gave a friend from the Caribbean a buddy pass. She flies. Somehow she got out of Jamaica and got to New York City, LaGuardia, I believe, or JFK, one of those. And the gate agent there denied her boarding on the next flight to wherever she was supposed to go because her jeans were ripped. I can't even describe how it ripped. Instead of like across the thigh, it was like from the top of her hip down to her ankle. She looked like she was mauled by a goddamn tiger. Okay? So all that was exposed in her jeans. Like, why even put on pants if you're going to wear them ripped to that point? Ridiculousness. Just keep it simple, dummy. Remember, you're not going to the club, the strip club, a Vegas freaky show, whatever. You're in public. There are going to be families there. There's going to be priests, nuns. I've had all these people on my flights. You're going to be in public. There's just chill. We don't have to wear masks anymore, which is fabulous. Now, me as a flight attendant, I work with the public. I did get COVID this year in 2022. I'm one of those people, they have names for us that we managed to avoid Corona for 2 years. And then in 2022, we get it. And I did. I got it at the very end of April and in 2022 through the beginning of May. Let me tell you, that shit will knock the wind out of you. I was so fatigued. I don't think I've ever gotten a fever like that since I got the chicken pox, and I think it was worse than the chicken pox, that fever. It was crazy the way it hit me the first day or two. And then you're just weak. Like, I was walking in my hallway and I had to hold on to the wall. I was so weak and just messed up that I had the COVID test that you get from the government. I couldn't even think straight to take the damn test. But I know I had it. I know I had it. Um, but as far as I don't want to get that again. So I still wear my mask in the cabin. Now, when I'm making my announcements and stuff and I have a good distance away, I keep my mask off because I'm by myself in the front of the aircraft in my jump seat, and I have some distance, a little bit of distance away from the passengers. But when I go through the cabin and do my beverage service, I am wearing that mask. You best believe I am. And if you're offended by it, that's your business. Right now, with the mask situation, you have a choice. You can wear your mask or you cannot wear your mask. But what you will not do is harass other people that are wearing their mask if you choose not to wear one. Now, at my company, at my airline, which is a major airline, I fly regional, but our company is owned by a major airline. We make a nice little sweet professional, but it's a threatening message basically telling you that, hey, you don't have to wear a mask anymore by choice. Now, if other people choose to wear their masks, you are going to respect that and you're not going to bother them because my captain will tell you that I am the representative in the cabin for him. I'm his eyes and ears. And any kind of crap that you do, basically, is what he's saying is that I'm going to tell him and he's going to make some arrangements for your sorry ass if you want to harass the other person for wearing their mask or not wearing one. But at this point, it's a choice and it's a great thing. Good. I'm fine with that. But I choose, as for me and my body, and for me and my temple, I'm going to wear my mask. Obviously, I'm a damn flight attendant. You know what I do, or public. I still need to protect myself. Not only do I not want your nasty ass corona, I don't want your flu, your nasty cold, monkeypox, whatever the hell you got going on. I don't want them germs. I don't need that nonsense. Don't get in the way of my bonuses. Do you know we are so short staffed right now? Or we were at this point, that they needed every man on deck, every man and woman on deck to come to work to get these flights out because they can't staff the airline properly. They can't keep people. So they offer these bonuses, retention bonuses, longevity bonuses, whatever, just showing your ass up and breathing bonuses. And I've gotten all of them and I will continue to get them because I've been able to keep myself healthy. And I wear my mask and I'm going to protect myself because right now we're dealing with inflation and it's kicking my butt and everyone else's. Okay? They tried to raise my rent like $300 a month and I negotiated out of that because they screwed up. But oh my God, that would have killed me if I hadn't handled that situation. I got to deal with these. Gas prices kind of stable themselves a little bit, but I have to deal with grocery prices and things like that to live. You know, you got to eat. You're not going to be walking this earth without food in your body, nutrition. And those things have gone up. I've seen eggs go from $2.50 to like $4 in a short amount of time. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the cage free, range free eggs because they are the same price as the shitty ass white eggs. But the cage free tastes better. So there's really not much competition there. But just be respectful. People don't want to wear their mask. Or if they want to wear their mask, that is their choice. That is what's happening right now. And we're all going to respect that because I don't want a repeat of 2021 where there were like 5,000, over 5,000 incidents on major airlines in the US with assaults against flight attendants and other passengers cursing each other out. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I will tell you now, that was a horrible year, and the FAA is not tolerating that behavior. They are fining people thousands and thousands of dollars. These are not little like $2,000 fines. These are like 30,000, 40,000, up to $65,000 per person if you cause a major disruption in the flight with your behavior because of this pandemic or whatever the hell is wrong with you. That lady that attacked that woman, that punched that Southwest flight attendant in the face and knocked a few of her teeth out, I believe that lady did some jail time. She had to pay the fines, several $1,000s, but I believe she actually got like 30 days in jail or maybe 2 weeks or something. They're using her as an example. They're setting examples. We're not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. We're in a pandemic. We have to work together, whether you believe in it or not, or it's a conspiracy theory or not. You know, and I am this type of conspiracy theorist person. I believe in some of it. However, I'm like, I'm not going to play that game just in case this thing is real. I'm going to put on a mask. I'm going to follow those rules because I have to protect myself and my family. So that's how it is. Um, you can do your own research, check it out. The FAA is not playing this year. They're really not. It has been outrageous. And I believe there was a story earlier this year in 2022 where the flight crew has fought back. There was an incident where I can't remember who it was, Delta maybe, um, where a passenger tried to, I think he tried to open emergency exit. Now, mind you, folks, when we're like at 30,000 feet in the air, the plane is pressurized. You cannot open exits or windows or anything like that. It's not going to happen. However, the fact that you are trying to do that means that you are crazy and we got to subdue your ass. So that flight attendant went and got her metal coffee pot and whacked the hell out of that guy, as she should have. Because the fact that you're trying to do that, like I said, means you're crazy and you're a danger to the flight. You're a danger to the other passengers. And we have to handle our own. Mind you, just so you know, there is training for flight attendants. I'm not sure about pilots. Well, pilots can be FFDOs, and those are flight deck officers. They carry guns. And I'm telling you this because that's not a secret. It has made the major news. And this has occurred, was created after 9/11. Speaking of that, because it is September 18th as I record this. So we're just a few days after the 9/11 memorial. But the whole FFDO, um, flight deck officer was created in result of 9/11. So um, there are protections for us that we have in place where we as crew members protect ourselves. Flight attendants can receive training from Homeland Security. These are basic self defense trainings, but it gets a little bit more extensive than what I would do in recurrent training through my company. It's a good 8-hour training, and you know, we're going to fight to the T. If you're trying to invade that flight deck, you can forget about it because of the lessons learned in September 11th. So, 2001. So, what else can you expect in this podcast? I'm going to talk about everything, anything in aviation news, not just from a regional standpoint. I mean, there are some nuances, differences, and things like that on a regional flight that you may not deal with on a major Airbus or 737, 300, or whatever, um, that are very detail specific to us. But these are things that could be applied to just general aviation here in the United States. I am an American, so I will be speaking from an American point of view. But even though I say I am an American citizen, I consider myself a citizen of the world because I am a part of the world and I don't tunnel vision myself and only look at American things. I try to keep myself open and exposed to what's going on in the rest of the world because this is a different world that we live in. We are connected through the web, through television, through internet, television on the internet, just the web itself. We are able to fly to other countries and meet other people. We are connected. There is a blog that I have, and it's myneedlejet.com, and you can follow me there if you prefer to read. I go into a little bit more detail about certain things from the aviation regional point of view, and some of the subjects I'll be talking about in this podcast might be the same. They might be a little bit different, or whatever I may write about in the blog, I may go into even more detail in this podcast. Give you more anecdotes, more stories, things like that. But I welcome you to check out myneedlejet.com and listen to the future episodes of this podcast. I thank you for listening to this podcast. And not to be corny, but welcome aboard.